Hey there, card fighters. Woodland Docs here with the Deck Check Podcast, episode 2. And because everyone commented so politely, I brought back Ryan and Matt.
Hey. Oh, my bad. It's me. There you go. That's
Yeah,
what I said
yeah,
last time.
yeah. That's your catchphrase. Ryan, did you have a catchphrase yet or no?
It was probably just hello, like hello, happy world. That's just me.
Ooh, hello, happy world. Don't get me started. Uh, you
Oh no.
you guys know I'm a sucker for my Bang Dream decks. I'm sorry.
Too much. Too much.
Yeah, I know it is. Especially since I have it in two formats. Well, I technically could do all three, but since I'm too dumb for premium.
I wasn't gonna say it. But...
Unless someone can cook me up a list and teach me how to play premium. Actually,
I have a Varga list.
Honestly, with the Harry Stride deck set coming out, maybe I'll just play that in premium too. And
It's too expensive.
But if I'm getting the Harry decks, okay,
You need 4 hairy deck sets is why it's expensive.
Well, all right, I'll just get rich or something.
You're already there.
Oh, okay. Ooh. News to me. Well, so about getting money. You guys know I've been going on interviews and stuff. So you remember how last episode I talked about I learned what a QR code was?
Oh no. I don't know. I don't like where this is going.
Today I went to an interview, and guess how I had to tell them I was there?
A barcode.
So close. A QR code. I had to scan a QR code on my phone and go in there and say, here's my name, here's why I'm here, who I'm here to see. Here, it made me take a picture. I had to submit a picture to check into this place.
You break the camera?
I threw it out of anger, if that counts. But so after the interview, I went up to T-Mobile and I got a new phone.
Oh, good. Oh, T-Mobile.
Well, look, we had Sprint for 20 some years or whatever, and then they got bought.
Oh, I'm a Verizon boy.
Verizon boy. And Ryan, I accidentally know your phone number. I'll tell you that story another time. I mean, we're friends, so it's not like a tragedy that I have your phone number. But I'll tell you that story another time because it's kind of funny.
Do I have Ryan?
What?
I don't have Ryan's number. What the heck?
I know. Yeah. Someone doxed him, and I have to tell him about it because it's pretty funny. So
You're doxed.
I know. I'm doxed and I didn't do the doxing. It's great.
Message me my number directly or something. I feel like I'm getting played right now.
This is why you gotta I gotta start a Patreon and you guys can sub and I'll give you Ryan's phone number. Yeah.
Ask him any question anytime.
Whatever pays the bills.
Oh, so back on the Vanguard note, we had our sneaks last weekend, guys. That turnout was crazy.
There was like 20 people there. Maybe not quite 20, but
19.
Something like that.
It was 19.
I'm so good at this.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's the first time we hit cap for an event because our events are capped at 16.
Yeah, and we literally had to use different software because Bushy Navy couldn't hold us.
Oh, is that why? I'm too stupid. I didn't even realize that's why we were doing that.
Yeah, no, but Bushy Navy, it capped us at 16 because that's what they say their capacity is. And so they had the first 16 people sign up, and we just submitted some sort of results through there. I don't know what they did, but that's why they use the Wizard software because they could just create an event with X players on demand. Bushy Navy doesn't let you do that, obviously.
Fair.
So we had 19 people. We had the one dude who it was his second week there, like second week he knew we existed. He showed up. We had a few people that maybe show up once every other month, and they showed up. So it was really fun. I think everybody had a good time except for the fact that we still saw Shiranui at the top table.
Oh, was he playing Shiranui?
No, he didn't. It was Luard.
Oh, he was playing Luard?
I think they were both playing Luard.
Oh, I thought one was playing Shiranui and one was playing Luard. Okay.
No one played Shiranui.
That's kind of crazy. And I freaking 4-1 got you third and fourth place. We did 5 rounds, which is crazy. I've almost felt like a BCS or BSF. So 5 rounds, you guys, that was nuts.
Listen, I live Vanguard, so like that was easy for me. I could easily go 20 games in a row and not be tired.
Well, I mean, I can testify if you guys ever, if we ever upload pictures of the crew to social media, I can tell you right now, Matt's knuckles actually have Vanguard, with the
Mhm.
exclamation points and everything, across the knuckles of his fingers. So,
It's spelled wrong to fit, but it's there.
yeah. Well, I mean, you gotta save your one pinky for some other tattoo. I
I
don't.
I missed the U in guard. Uh,
um, Ryan, do you have any Vanguard tattoos?
Do I have any Vanguard tattoos? No, but if anything, it would be like I don't know. What would my Vanguard tattoo be? I don't know. Critical trigger, heel trigger.
See that could be a whole episode. Pick a Vanguard tattoo, and then if we reach 1 million downloads, everyone will go and get the tattoos for real.
whoa,
So
whoa, hold on!
That would
I
be
don't
a
want
good one.
tattoos.
okay.
Do not heal. Do not like heel trigger. Like so. Like do not resuscitate. Oh, oh, please.
I mean, come on, 1 million downloads. I have no tattoos. I have no desire for a tattoo, but 1 million downloads, please. I'll get whatever you guys want. Because at 1 million downloads, we can get a sponsor, and I can hide the money from these two. So
Hold on. Whoa! I'm not getting a tattoo if I'm not getting paid.
you paid an experience and exposure. Come on. So one thing.
You're the one who needs experience, Brody.
I can't beat Shiranui. Okay. One thing that I was one of the folks that showed up to locals corrected me on. He listened to the first episode. I guess there are more international BSFs still occurring that I was unaware of. In the last episode, I did remark that France was having an issue with a political issue that caused them to back theirs up, which I believe theirs got rescheduled to like September. So it's like Bushy Road Autumn Fest instead. I don't know. He did point out that there were some more international ones still going on. So our apologies there, but I had thought that they were all done with. But that's on me. So I guess every episode, if you guys give us any feedback or correct us on something, I'd love to acknowledge it, and thank you for pointing that out. So with that
Yeah.
said, did you guys notice anything in the sneak peek pulls that was unusual? I don't think we had any FFRs or secrets or anything that got hit, did we?
Supposedly for every sneak preview kit, the prize packs supposed to have the FFR and whatnot, guaranteed FFR or higher.
Okay, but we didn't. Nobody pulled them, did they?
It would probably be the people who came in that got the prize packs, because they were the last entries.
Oh, okay. Well, because I mean, nobody made any commotion. That's my thing. Like,
They're not
Oh,
able to make a commotion.
I remember. It was a frame rare Nilburus.
oh, so the double frame.
Yeah, it's pretty. I wanted it, but I didn't want to spend money on it.
Well, you're pretty, and I spend money on you all the time. So
Fake news.
well, I mean, for anybody that listened to the last episode, I probably mentioned that I'm getting a case of set 2 for sets 4 through 13 of the first iteration of Overdress. I got a case every single time. I was doing case splits. This time I'm doing the case just for myself. Obviously, I don't need everything from the case. That's where those EVA promos that Matt pulled for coming in third at Sneaks is going to help him out a lot. Because
You're welcome.
your boy needs EVA promos, as does the rest of the world.
I also need EVA promos. Ah, they're so
Hey,
expensive, man.
Guess what? They only went up in price.
I know.
It's nuts.
It feels like
Wait,
they're
dude,
short printed. If you've been opening the promo packs, like it really feels like they're short printed.
Well, we've had what, 4 weekends with those packs so far, or 3 weekends?
Yeah, like let's say we had 16 packs for promo packs. Only one of them had an EVA promo for the first 2 weeks, and then this past weekend there were 2 EVA promos pulled by Matt.
Yeah, well, actually, the first 3 weeks, because when we were all in Chicago, there was one pulled, and then the following 2 weeks there was one each pulled. This week was the first week there was more than one pulled, so that's really short. And one of the packs was empty. Did they show you
was
that?
hilarious.
Yeah, what, it was a sealed empty pack. Did you see that, Matt?
No, but the shop owner told me about it, and
Yeah.
I was like, "That's stupid."
Yeah, like right, Bushy, and get a free card. I don't know. So
Honestly, though, I wouldn't.
but anyways, you guys, today we are going to be going over a very, very good chunk of set 2. Each of us took some assigned decks and assigned cards. We're going to talk about our personal builds, what we expect to see other people come up with, and what we have seen in the JP meta. So, with that, I think it's time to grab a drink and take a seat. It's deck check time. All right, so we're going to start with me because I love attention and I love myself and I love hearing myself talk. What? No, no. I was waiting for the smart comment. I literally paused for a smart comment. I gave you the window and you just kind of chuckled quietly, but everyone can put in their own joke.
We know you like to talk to yourself.
I know.
I mean, hear yourself. Well,
Yeah.
both probably.
Yeah, I'm the only one who listens to me. So, anyways, guys, I have two decks that I'm going to go over, and the boys are going to give me feedback. And like I said, we're going to go over some of the community builds or some of the builds that I saw top in the JP meta, or just JP, whether it's meta deck or not. But this one, I can guarantee you is meta. We are talking about everyone's faded one of 0 because there's only one. Plus, he'd still be the favorite anyways. Blanemire. If you guys are unfamiliar with this deck, it is Dark States. It is a Faded 1 card. It does have a Divine skill. We are going to be doing what Dark States does best, which is Soul Charge. Well, sorry. What Dark States does most, maybe not best, because it's a blind Soul Charge. And that's what I don't enjoy the most about this deck. So, I mean, Ryan, I don't think I see you play too much Dark States. Do you ever have a problem when you do play Dark States?
I have no problem playing Dark States. You see the over trigger every single game. You go Soul Charge, over trigger. Nice. It happens. It happens all the time.
That's
Like,
that's literally what our buddy's name is Unlucky Soul Charge. So,
Best name.
I mean, is there any like Lukier maybe in standard is selective Soul Charge? I can't think of selective Soul Charge off the top of my head in Dark States for standard.
Ling, charge top 2, pick one. One goes to Soul, one goes to bottom of the deck.
Okay. I mean, my build and the rest of the builds that I looked at, they don't have selective Soul Charge for Blanemire at least. So my personal deck code is ZLJ2. This is on English deck log. The ride line is going to be your standard Blanemire ride line that you get in set 2. Both the grade 1 and the grade 2 let you look at the top 3 cards. Grade 1s or greater get stuff to Soul. Difference being the grade 2 will let you shuffle the deck. I've been burned by this so many times already, just in the few games that I practiced on CFA. It feels like you get punished because the only thing that's not grade 1 or greater is literally your triggers. So you're going to thin the deck for triggers. But if you're looking for cards like Evoke Alchemist that are essential to popping off with the Restander, if you happen to see those, it's kind of gonna suck. But obviously, then the grade 3 in the red line is Blanemire himself with the on attack skill of binding 2 up to 4 from your soul with the power gain, the draw. Power gain is 5k for every 2. And then obviously his divine skill is when there are 8 or more at the beginning of the guard step, he gains a crit, takes away your abilities, no sentinels, basically just says, screw you, bro. And that's my playstyle.
Well, we know.
So the support cards that do come in the set with Colossus. Colossus is my least favorite. Yeah, it's definitely my least favorite of it. Honestly, it's just weak. I don't know. It can gain 10k once your bind zone has 4 or more, so that's after the first Blankmire attack, so it's 23k. Then you shove it to Soul. So I know with the threat of being dominated, getting it off the board's cool. But then when it is put into the Soul by a card's ability, if I have a Blankmire, I can bind it to draw. So it speeds up that bind, which I guess is its redeeming quality, and I get the draw. It's still my least favorite support card. I don't know if you guys are playing the deck at all or if you've tested it, but out of the designated support cards, that's my least favorite.
I think it's a good card. I just think the art is just not appealing.
It is ugly. It is ugly. I'll give you that.
I'm also in the same boat as Ryan. I like the card a lot, actually.
See, it's my least favorite.
I was gonna say why, but you literally just said why. So.
Rewind 13 seconds. So then we have Zamoog. Zamoog is on place. I can counterblast if I have a Blankmire. Top 3, shove anything I want into the Soul, shuffle the deck. 1 or more gets me a draw. That's nice. Then obviously its better skill is when it attacks. If I have a Blankmire Vanguard, I can go ahead and Energy Blast 3, give it 5k, and you give it a crit as long as its crit is currently 1 or less, which I guess that's for like premium if you use those grade 3 heals and neg 2 crit you, I guess. But so obviously it's a restander. It's going to gain 5k. It's going to gain a crit. And where it really pops off is when it is paired with my boy, Evoke Alchemist. So Alchemist is going to be a 13k booster as soon as you have Blankmire. So that's huge, right? 13k booster, you can't be mad at that. But the best part is, it gains 2 when it 2k more when it boosts Blankmire itself. And then, if your bind zone has 4 or more face down cards, I can restand a rearguard, aka Zamoog. And if there's 8 or more, which there more than likely will be if you're playing Blankmire correctly, then that unit gets 15k. So if you attack with Zamoog and you've Persona Road, so let's just say it's your second grade 3 turn, you've Persona Road, you have the 8 in Soul, you're gonna do your Divine Skill. This dude is getting gigantic. He's gonna be 35k, 40k, because 5k from himself. So he's gonna be 45k, or what did I say? 40k. He's gonna be 40k with 2 crit, plus any triggers from Blankmire that you put onto it. Obviously, your opponent's not going to be able to perfect guard or anything, so if you draw a crit, put the crit on the Vanguard, power over to Zamoog, and then he's another 2 crit. That's a deadly combination. Did I pull that off against you, Matt?
No, because you messed up. I don't remember what you did, but you did something wrong and you weren't able to do it.
You could have just said no, but all right.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he didn't get it.
I'll get it in editing.
Uh-huh. I'll see that doesn't happen.
Ryan, I'm curious because you're better with timing and interactions than I am. Arium, Steam artist Arium, whatever this guy's name is. So obviously it has another soul charge effect just like they all do. We can, if we have a Blankmire, we can look at the top 2 cards instead of just blindly soul charging, and if I do not put both cards in, I shuffle the deck. But the second one, this is where your playstyle and your smarts, I really think, shines. So at the end of the turn, if your Blankmire uses its divine skill, we can retire it, draw a card, and if you do not retire another one of those, it shuts down your opponent's ride or stride without a discard. So Ryan, have you been playing with this deck at all, or no?
I have not been playing Blankmire.
Okay.
I don't really plan on playing it until it gets a second wave of support.
Okay.
I just think it's a little too one-dimensional for it being the faded one of 0 right now.
Okay. I was hoping to get some sort of input on, like, because I have been tending to go for my divine skill as soon as I have 8, because I feel like at that point my opponent's at 3 damage already. So if I'm at guaranteed 2, no sentinels, then if I check a crit, that's just game. But the timing of using the divine skill and having Arium out there is something that I want to understand better myself. Then, real quick, my spice picks for this. So, well, she's not as much spice as she is very common. Servant Falcratia, maid that was very common in Drajuled. She can keep putting stuff into soul and gaining power. Her second effect will not happen because there's not a grade for a greater vanguard, but still, you can take cards from the drop and put them into the soul. Then my two spice picks, obviously, you guys, if you want to go with the energy cyclers and other staples like Elementary Sanctitude for your place one of the perfect cards, please do. I just wanted to include options without those cards because A, I know how hard they were to get a hold of, and B, I know how expensive they are on the secondary market. But I threw in 4 copies of Crimson Expeller. Crimson Expeller is when it attacks Soul Charge, so speeds up your Soul Charge for Blanemire to then bind. And then if you put that card into Soul by any effect or just by Soul Charge, once it's in your Soul, you can counterblast, put it in the drop, replace it with a Soul Charge, and give your Vanguard another 10k. So let's just say that you happen to get 2 Expellers in there before your Divine skill. You're gonna be you can do that on the same turn and get an extra 20k to your already gigantic Blanemire. Your opponent's not gonna even. I mean, they could probably empty their whole hand and they won't be able to do it. And lastly, my other spice pick, Joyous Chain Explosions Schwangma. Yes, I'm saying that totally right, and you can't prove me wrong. Either you gentlemen know what this card does?
I do because I wanted to use it in something else.
Ryan, do you know what this card does?
I am reading it as we speak. I completely understood your pronunciation. I searched up the card, no problem.
Oh, good. So anyways, when it attacks, you can Soul Blast. That's tiny. Is that 4 or is that 3?
Energy
4.
blast.
Or yeah. I said Soul Blast. I'm just talking Dark States. Yeah. So you can Energy Blast 4. Your opponent chooses one of their rear guards, retires it. This unit gets 5k until the end of turn, and if they did not retire, you can Soul Charge 2. So it's a little bit of spice for board clear / extra Soul Charge if you didn't get there somehow. I imagine this to help rebuild the soul after Blankmeyer uses the divine skill, so you can still bind 4 every turn. Anyways, that's my list, guys. Do you have any little critiques or things that you like or want to tell me I'm trash?
I have many critiques.
Oh, good lord. Okay.
Can we get into it? Can I?
I mean, go right ahead.
my mind?
Go right ahead. I will say some of the other cards that I've seen used in the community. Cage of Evil Star, which is a order card that allows you to soul charge, take a grade 3 from soul and call it out. I guess that's okay because it replaces the card. It's just like an Expeller. I've seen Clean Sweep Dragon, which when you Persona Ride, Counterblast, choose up 3 rear guards. You both put them in the soul. 5k power for each one, but that clears your field, so you don't, unless you have a way to repopulate your field. I really wouldn't advise it. And it's you can choose up to 3 rear guards total, so they could just say no. The last card that I saw splashed in there was Causality Dragon, which I actually really like in there. So it's just like all the other ones from Festival Booster. The trigger effects are applied to you as well. But then when this card attacks while not boosted, put the rear guard behind it into Soul, and then you can do take one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and Causality gets 5k. Or you can remove the over trigger, and your opponent cannot call grade 1 or higher, aka perfect guards, for that battle. So if you check triggers and if they've already blocked your Vanguard attack, you can throw it over here and say, nope, no perfect guard for you. But those are the other ones I saw splashed in there. And now Matt's going to tear me a new one.
A little bit. You opened up by saying that you don't have selective soul charging. And I mean, sort of to a point, but when I think selective soul or not, when I think random soul charging, I think, oops, I just soul charged a trigger. But with Blankmeyer's ride line, you literally just put in non-triggers, which is fantastic. So cool there. What else did I? Cage of Furious Star. I think that's a great card because if you soul charge Zamoog, for example, then you can just, oh, look at that, here he is back on the field. For 1 blind soul charge, that's fine, easy, done. I don't really know. You run 4 of those RWIM guys. I think 2 is fine, maybe even 1, but I honestly couldn't tell you what I would replace it with.
Yeah, I went to 4 because you want to be able to have it ready when you need it. So
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. That's also selective soul charging because you look at the top two and just pick any of those two. Um, oh yeah. On top of selective soul charging, Zamoog literally lets you selective soul charge off the top three. I
Yeah,
think that deck is super
no,
selective.
yeah, there is more. Okay, so the ride line's not selective, but the support cards are. Okay, I see
I,
that.
I think you missed it a little bit, but yes. I don't know. I don't really have much else. I mean, that's really my big gripe.
Okay, Ryan, do you have anything that's grinding your gears here?
Anything that's grinding my gears, no. I'm just surprised that it was the. Oh, well, I guess we'll talk about meta later, but basically, it was the number 2 deck in Japan.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of surprising. Like, the deck's strong, but I don't think it's that strong.
It might also be a recency bias, but we'll see.
Mm.
Um, so
I think they got lucky.
that's pretty much it for what I have for Blangmeyer. Almost all the cards come directly from set 2. The what for my build specifically, Falcration and Expeller are the only ones that don't. Triggers 8 crit, 4 heals, Dark States OT because you have a third crit on an unsentinable. Yeah, that's a word. Unsentinable Vanguard swing. You have 3 crit. Your opponent just loses. So the I mean, what? Unless you heal like you every time.
Whoa, I didn't heal. I used Liel to just be like, oh, nice Vanguard skill. Would be a shame if I just ignored it.
So the next one I want to cover, which is not nearly as powerful, but still fun to play, the Flam Glam Girls, Flam G. So we have a new lyrical ride line in these very talented singers. I'm just gonna guess based off the pictures. They all have microphones, so either that or they lied on their application. So our ride line is essentially you out of the ride line, you want to keep the starter in your soul as long as possible. So if you're playing against a prison player and they get the 2 pure lights, you're kind of screwed. Or if you're dumb like me and do things out of sequence, you're screwed. But the whole the whole purpose of this deck is to, after the Vanguard swing, ride the grade 0, and it'll gain 2k for every card in damage, and then it essentially gets you an extra drive check, so triple drive. In essence, you're getting 3 drive checks. It's not triple drive. But the grade 1 and the grade 2, when the grade 2 rides upon the grade 1, you are able to call them out. I've been typically calling them into a column. You're able to call them out, and then at the end of the turn, they go back into Soul. And your grade 3 main Vanguard, which is Rugia. Soul Blast once per turn to go find a grade 2 or less Flame Glam unit because you need the keywords in the names. You can search the deck, or you could search. What is it? Is it the deck or is it? Yeah, deck and soul. Yeah, not drop. So you do deck or soul, which it's fine because you're going to be replacing a lot of cards from the drop. And then, as I mentioned, after it attacks, if you have 3 or more Flame Glams, you are able to Counterblast, take your starter, ride it a stand, and it gets 2k. At the end of the turn, you ride back, 2k for each card in the damage zone. At the end of the turn, you ride back to Rugia as rest. So this is a pseudo restanding Vanguard, sort of triple drive because you are getting 3 drive checks. From there, I run 3 more cards of each of the grade 1 and the grade 2 from the ride line because you want to have those unique Flam Glam names. I am running the girl holding the poster, Fly Up My Heart Prasan. She gets an extra an extra 10k on Guardian Circle if you take a Flame Glam from drop and put it on the bottom of your deck. So that will be you refilling your deck with cards to search. The other girl that I have in here, Overcoming Countless Defeats Amdusia, which is something I'm familiar with. She can take a Flame Glam from the top 3, put it in your hand, the rest go on the bottom of the deck, and then as long as you have a Flame Glam Vanguard, she gets boost. So she is a 10k booster in the back row the entire time. I do also run the Dive to Blue Licorice, which she will give every Flame Glam unit 5k, allow you to draw a card in exchange for a Counterblast and 1 Flame Glam from the drop to the bottom of the deck. Again, refueling your deck for the search of grade 3 Rugia. That's for a Counterblast. When your Vanguard or Flame Glam attacks, you're always going to have one of those. Then some of, every list that I saw had Loving Pink Francette. We know she's mainly good for Chris Rain, but She will allow you to return a Flamglam unit or any rearguard, but it's going to be a Flamglam unit to your hand as she attacks, and she gets 5k because you're going to have a bunch of unique names. So she's nice to have out there to keep your Flamglams protected into your hand. To fill out the deck, I was having issue with Soul, and I was having issue with Draw. So I put in 2 of Want to Behold That Profile Orpha from set 2. If you haven't played an order this turn, you can discard a card, search your deck for any order without Regalis Piece, put it to the drop, and then activate it from drop. So the order that I chose is a tried and true Hearted Ruby. Get it?
Yeah.
Counterblast, draw 2 cards, choose a card from hand, discard it, put this card into your soul. Lets me draw, fills up my soul. Counterblast isn't an issue for me. So that's what I've got so far, guys. Have you delved into the glam world?
No, and I also know nothing about Lyrical. This is like the only nation I don't build, aside from Chris Rain, which I love. So.
Ryan?
Have I gone into this deck specifically? No. I'm just thinking that this deck's just not it. I'm just trying to think if like how to improve it. But basically, I like the idea behind the True Hearted Ruby. Because in one of the lyrical decks that I was playing back in Medial days, I was actually playing Willista Rideline to search True Hearted Ruby and to get Soul. To get Soul that way.
Yeah. If the red line here didn't have the key name in it, I was considering doing that, but because then if you use the Willista red line, then you can slap those 2 Flamglams into the deck and have 4 copies of each in the deck. But I like the way the red line is.
I think it does have room to explore, really.
Yeah, Lyrical can get pretty toolboxy too. I'm not against playing around with it. The lists, so there was 2 lists I think that were on VG Paradox. One used Hopping Interstellar Multi, so it can become friends with the unit behind it, which does nothing else for you. And then when you place it on rear, Counterblast to call a card from your hand if you do draw a card. So, And then I think this name cut off in translation. I don't know its name because it's new. It's Someday I'll Sing a Song Just for Me, and then the translation stops. So whatever that card is. When it's placed on rear, if you have no other rear guards with the same name, if you have 4 or more units, Counterblast to draw a card, or Energy Blast 3 to give this unit 10k, so it becomes an 18k booster, or if you have it in the front, an 18k attacker. But they're both Counterblast 1 to draw 1 card, and if I use Ruby and search out Ruby, or if I just draw it naturally, it's Counterblast 1 to draw 2. And it gives me Soul. So I preferred that over those.
Oh, actually, the card I was playing was not Ruby. It was Everlasting Sapphire.
Okay.
Because it
Well,
doesn't
doesn't
cost
cost
counterblast.
counter.
It just gives 5k and goes into Soul.
Yeah. I like the draw aspect of this one, and Counterblast is only really taken up by my Vanguard and Lycaris. And then the grade 1 from the ride line here will allow you to countercharge when you attack with her. It felt, free enough. Like I had, or not free enough, but like I had the room.
I'm going to point out one thing that happened in our testing games, which is that I damage denied you and you didn't have any counterblast left. So you had a very vanilla turn for like 4 turns in a row.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't counterblast to get the grade 0 out, which then shut down some of your other things.
Yeah, I was heavily misplaying by not attacking with the grade 1 from the ride line. Joanna, yeah. So what I've learned from that is you want to put the grade 2 that can get boost behind Joanna and attack with Joanna so that I can countercharge if I need to. So that was some early playing mistakes that that's why you playtest. You learn.
Exactly. So you get it.
That's enough of my voice. We need to hear Matt's voice and the decks that Matt was assigned. So
no.
where we starting, Matt?
We don't want to hear my voice. Well, I was gonna start with Zorga, but I'm gonna start with Liel instead.
You go right ahead.
I think I was supposed to do Liel first anyway. Okay, so do I have to explain every card? Do people know what they do by now?
I mean,
I feel like people would know.
General rundown, because I did not know anything about the Liel cards until I played you.
All right, so general rundown of the ride line. Once you ride into grade 2, you draw 2 cards and then discard a normal thing, or a normal unit. And then when you ride into Liel herself, you can put up to, well, as many normal units into your deck from your drop zone, and then draw a card if you put at least 3, which is pretty nice, I guess, because Liel likes to call things from the deck, so put those pieces back in. Tasty. And then Liel herself, of course, when she attacks, you counterblast 1, bind a rear guard, and then call a rear guard with the same name from your deck. So obviously you're going to attack with your rear guard first, then call a new one after she attacks. The optimal target for that effect is the new card that came out in this set, Eaterus, Sword Saint of Itinerant Eaterus. Because when he gets bound, you can Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and then give your Liel a little 5k boost, which sometimes helpful, I guess, but not like all that amazing. I like it for the draw. That's really good. And then while he has something bound, he gets 10k, so he's just a 20k attacker on his own. 30k with a Persona Ride, which is hot. Another good thing to run in this deck, if you can afford it, good luck, is the Biscotti, the Cycler card. Because you really don't use any energy for anything. Well, I'm about to eat my own words a little bit later, but you don't use a whole lot of it. Plus, she counts as a normal unit, so you can just toss her back in the deck with the grade 2 ride line thing. What else is important? I run Sailground, which is the best card in Keter. You just throw that in every deck, and you easy. But also,
Doggo
big
board.
money card.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I run the most expensive card ever printed. Not really, but maybe. Sages, plus 10k if your opponent got a trigger. Also, look at the top card of your deck and soul charge it if you want when it attacks. That thing is disgusting and overpriced for good reason, I guess. I run 4 of those, obviously. So the whole reason that I don't know, I don't like Liel for one reason, and it's just that while she can be pretty tanky, especially with her Vanguard's secret effect of guarding for free by returning bound units to the deck, and you discard a card, but like whatever. But it's a perfect, not a perfect guard, it's perfect guard, yeah, which gets around things like your boy Blangmeyer.
Yeah, it gets around anything with guard restrict. Well, not anything with guard restrict, but most cards that'll say, "Hey, no sentinels," or "Hey, must guard with 2 or more," or whatever it may be.
Yeah, because you're not actually playing it; you're just using an effect, which doesn't count as playing. So, haha.
Take that,
the
society.
thing that I right. So the thing that I found while I was trying to build a deck for her is that while she can be pretty tanky, she doesn't really do a lot of damage to your opponent. She can't really hit that hard. Even with like you calling rear guards back from your deck, you're drawing a whole bunch of stuff. But the power just isn't there. They can easily, if they get a defensive or not over trigger, just a defensive trigger in general, they'll just easy guard every attack you swing at them. So my plan for getting around that is I threw in some of those orders that say when this unit is boosted, give it 10k, and you choose two units.
Is that
that costs energy?
Is that Warrior's
It's
Rest?
called,
yeah,
a Warrior's Rest. So I figured that would be a really good idea to help increase the damage output, or not damage, but like the power output of the deck. So, but
it did feel like the numbers were easy to guard.
Yeah, so now they're a little more challenging to guard. Also, with the deck, I originally thought that it was a little resource heavy, but as long as you manage it well, then you're fine. Especially because I added the little new dog that countercharges off of your like after it boosts. So that's helpful.
Was it
It's called
Graggle? Yeah, okay, Gragon. I'm like Graggle.
Graggle, like Fraggle Rock. Maybe.
Okay. I mean, I faced your build, and yeah, I agree that the power levels are a little low, but it's very efficient. I don't think there was, like, unless you severely misplayed, I don't think there was a time where you went without. So it's very efficient and effective, just not very powerful.
Yeah, like I said, you take a whole bunch of hits, but then you just can't do that finishing blow.
Yeah.
Although since you did play me, I did change the deck a little bit, and that's the deck log that we have in this podcast.
Yep.
So
For everyone listening, the deck log is 32E1C. And in case I forgot to give the deck log, which I'm pretty sure I did for my Flam, it is 1ZQMU. And these are all English deck log codes. Ryan, being the mastermind of deck building that you are, which, guys, you'll hear me talk about Ryan being one of the smartest people in our locals all the time because I truly think he is. Have you cooked here?
With Leo, I just like Matt said, there's just no gas in there. And am I the smartest person at locals? I don't think so. There's honestly one brain cell between the three of us, and sometimes I turn with it.
It's Ryan's turn to use the brain cell. Well, so we
he
did.
always has it though.
Yeah, exactly. When do we get the brain cell? Mom said it's my turn with the brain cell. So we did have one list submitted to us from the community. Rion Skyridge. I met him up at a BCS to sell him a card. He does great content himself. So Rion Skyridge, check him out if you'd like to. He sent us a Liel version of a deck. It is 7Q8V8. So, Matt, I had you take a look because you're more of a subject matter expert here than me. I know your very first comment to me was resource heavy, but have you noticed anything else from this?
Hold on, I'm looking at it. I'll admit that I did not play test this deck. I'm just like looking at it from a theory crafting standpoint. So don't at me if I get things wrong. But the thing that I noticed is that it's I don't know, it's very resource heavy. I can't get around that. The counterblast amount is just so much. And
I
sure, it
mean,
runs the dog that counter charges, but like it's not just the counter charges, it's the soul as well that you need a lot of, especially for Carebray. That's a big pricey
That
resource.
that was my one comment was him. Yeah.
is it resource heavy?
Counterblast and
Uh,
soul blast in a deck that counterblasts every turn, possibly twice.
the Kybre, sure, like it could be like I really don't think it's that resource intensive.
I mean, I'm seeing 4 units that have counterblast as a cost. So between Sages, the Vanguard, Kybre, and this Angel, Prescription Angel, I see 4 units with counterblast. Granted, you're not going to use them all every single turn, but that is a lot of counterblast. The doggo that counter charges is in there 4 times, so yes, that's a way to recoup. But it does get retired at the end. I know there's ways to put back into your deck for normal units, but where's the heaviness on the soul? We have what, Euphoria and Kybre is what uses the soul, and then Sages, right?
No, so
No,
Sages will still
No.
charge
Oh,
sometimes.
okay. Oh, that's
but
the look at the top. Oh, no, it's Idris. Yeah.
Yeah, Idris, which you're gonna is if as often as you can, you want to use that effect because it's really good to just draw you a card and give a little boost. But then you also have the booster behind Liel, which is Euphoria, to put pieces back into your deck that you want.
Mm-hmm.
And you're probably going to be doing those almost every turn if you can. So that's soul heavy on top of Carebray. I don't know. Maybe it works. And I just haven't play tested it to see.
I do like this Diana card that's in here. When your
yeah,
unit was,
yeah.
yeah, when your unit's placed on R from deck, it gets 10k. So when you're doing your shenanigans with Idris, and your Vanguard, that could be nice.
So I like that card, and I thought about putting it in the deck, but I decided that if I just have Sages out, if my opponent gets a trigger, he'll go up 10k anyway, and that's the same deal. And I don't know. She has to be out when something is called, so you can't even like Carebray call her out. I'm pretty sure if the wording is right. Oh no, just if something was placed from deck, period, at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. So
I don't know.
and it's not a once per turn. So if you're calling multiple things from deck,
No, that's not how that works.
okay.
It's just if something was placed, she gets
Wait,
10.
is
It's
oh
not every time
it does say
it's
if.
placed.
Okay, it does say if. It doesn't say when. Okay, I gotcha.
You silly
So
goose.
okay, honk.
I like it. Kyber being able to cycle Kyber means you get extra attacks per turn.
We have an enjoyer
Yeah.
among us. All right, I guess we'll have to play it and give it a shot. I don't have many of the cards outside of set 2 for this deck, so I'm probably not going to try to make it its own thing myself. But did you notice anything like from top lists that's worth noting, Matt?
Hold on, wait. Let me open up my top lists because I do have that open.
There's top lists of Leo. This deck sucks.
That's what that I was kind of asking rhetorically, but he actually answered.
So some people are running Taith Fault because I mean that's just the best card ever.
Yeah.
For Keter. A lot of people don't though. I mean these decks they don't seem that great to me. Oops. But they run pretty much the same thing as I run, with a little bit of difference.
Okay.
I don't think any of them run the order that I run. But
all right. Well,
I don't know what this card is, but I'm pretty sure it's a grade 3 that does the same thing as the what is that? The Diana, the one that gains 10 if you play something from deck. I think there's a grade 3 that does that, but she I would say is better because she can be shield if you need to.
All right. Well, I know that you're not a Liel enjoyer, but I know what you do enjoy, and that is Green Boy himself. It's
I do
Zorgon.
like Green Boy.
It's Zorgon time. Here comes a thesis statement. A deck that has like 49 one ofs, and right. That's how you play Zorga.
Yeah. Now listen, I'm not a Zorga expert. I don't sit there and like mastermind the deck every day because listen, I got a life outside of Vanguard, even though I pretend to have a Vanguard life only. So I can't like sit there and think of everything, but this was my thoughts on it.
Here's my brain thoughts.
Yeah, they're probably not good brain thoughts, but they're brain thoughts nonetheless. Really instilling the
confidence
for the viewers. Yeah, confidence for the viewers. So let's start basic. We all know that Zorga likes to play 2 orders every turn, but how do we get there?
Cheat.
So the ride line, we cheat, yeah. So the ride line is basically at whatever point you discard or you soul blast a card to look at the top 7 of your deck, grab an order and discard something. You're probably going to want to discard your Prison Dragon or your Impending Karma if you get those. We'll talk about those in a bit. Then the grade 2 is basically the same thing as the original grade 2, which is to just put an order in your hand from your drop when it's ridden over. And then Zorga himself. Zorga is cool this time around, much cooler, because when you play an order, you can choose an order with a different name in your bind zone in Alchemagic. So once you bind something, you can just keep using that order over and over again, and only if you have like 1 copy in the deck, you're like set. And then it's Zorga's other effect is to Energy Blast 2, bind an order from your drop, choose 2 cards, up to 2 cards from your drop, and call them. They get 5k for each normal order with a different name in your bind zone, and then you retire them at the end of the turn. But that can be really powerful, especially if you have like 5 things or 5 orders in your bind zone. You just call 2 grade 1s, and they get 25k. So that's a massive booster. Love that.
33k booster, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I love that. And then on top of that, they boost Roaming Prison Dragon or whatever if it's a Persona Ride turn, and you did the Alchemagic, which I hope that you do every turn. Then that's like 60k with 2 crits every like 3 attacks,
I mean,
something like that.
So what? RPD would be 25, 10 from the persona, 10 from itself, and then a 33k booster. That's 58. Yeah, 58k 2 crit casual swing. You know.
Yeah, easy. And then with Zorga's new, divine skill, once per game, sadly, you stand one of those rows, like the entire column. That's sick.
If
So that's like a 4th attack. That's really big and disgusting, and haha,
4
I
attacks,
like
how will we ever handle that?
you won't. That's the point. um, okay, so we'll skip the orders for now, even though that's like the juicy part. I run 1 Elmadar, which is the cat, just for the shield, and if some crazy reason happens that I need to soul charge, I can do it. I run 4 of the Cotier, which is the discard a card, play an order from your drop, or search your deck for an order, and then play it from your drop. Which is really good, so you can just search for whatever order you need at the time that you need it. Love that. We have 1 True to Lease, which is the Zorga booster that came out in set 2. When you boost with it, it gives Zorga 15k, and you choose one of your other units and give it 10k, and then it retires, but like chances are you're going to retire it anyway. Kind of how Zorga works. So not really a big downfall there. I run 4 Shadow Cloak, obviously, because you want to drop your orders so that your deck has only, good, pretty stuff in it, like triggers. Plus, if you Alchemagic, you can Soul Blast to toss something in your hand. So if you're able to call a Perfect Guard out from your drop zone, you throw it back in your hand every turn. Pretty nice.
Cheat.
A little bit, yeah. And part of me is like, ooh, that's not really possible because Shadow Cloak will Soul Blast every turn. That's kind of yikes. You'll run out of soul. But that's not true because you can always just boost with the effect trigger that puts itself into soul, and you'll have soul every turn. Easy. Then we have 4 Roaming Prison Dragons. Best card Zorga ever got, which is funny to me because I remember when it first came out, people were like, "Oh, this is stupid. This is a bad card." For like a little bit, that didn't last long.
I wish I
And
bought it
then
during that time period. I'll say that much.
you should have, yeah. I bought it then. I was like, "Ooh, this card seems really powerful. I'm getting it," and I was right. Haha. Anyway, and then as far as the units go, there's only 1 more, which is the Karma, which is the new in quotes roaming prison dragon. This is roaming prison dragon at home. It's just when you alchemagic, or if you alchemagicked at the start of your battle phase, you call it from drop and it gains a crit. But the special part about it is that you can, when it comes out, energy blast 4, bind a normal order, and then it gains 5k for each normal order in your bind zone. So it can be a really, really big roaming prison dragon. So it could be like even better than prison dragon. But as far as I've been playing this deck, it only really happens once per game, where you can do that. Maybe twice if you're lucky and you save up your energy like a good little boy or girl. So I like prison dragon more still. That's why I run them at 4. And then Karma I just have in there for if I get it and I have that moment. It's like, yeah, perfect timing.
You just ran out of orders.
Yeah, don't run out of orders. This deck runs 10 of them, so good luck running out. my version at least. Honestly, the order lineup is pretty basic. We'll talk about the big important bits. Overcoming the unnatural death, you bind a card, choose 2 orders from your drop, put them in your hand. That's awesome because I run the Blitz order that says Soul Blast to draw a card and then guard for 5k for each thing, each order with a drop or in your drop and bind zone with a different name. You can do that every single turn if you keep using Overcoming the Unnatural Death, which is typically my first bind if I can do it with Zorga's effect. And then the rest of the orders in the deck are just geared towards keeping you alive and boosting your power. Gather upon me, you wandering souls, to gain a drive check. I like Command of Death's Restraint because you can call a Perfect Guard onto the field and then bounce it to your hand with Shadow Cloak. That's cool. Plus, you mill something, and ideally, you don't mill a trigger. That would. It doesn't really matter in the end, though. Let's be fair. What else? Death Inviting Black Magic. That card used. I guess it used to be seen a little bit,
Okay.
very little bit. But now, because you bind a bunch of orders every turn, you can draw 2 cards for free, basically, which is tasty.
Yum yum.
Yeah. But other than that, I guess the other last important card that you need to run in this deck is the Peppery Pepper critical trigger. It's very important that you run Peppery Pepper.
If you're not running Peppery Pepper, why are you even playing Zorga?
Yeah.
There's no spice in the deck.
Exactly. That's the spice. Exactly. And
Yeah.
before we forget, in case Matt didn't throw out the deck code, 3E6HU. Ryan, have you been in the labs with this or no?
I mean, in the labs, not necessarily. I think this deck is just like a player's deck. Well, part of it is deck building. There's multiple builds of this of this specific version of Zorga. So like there's different plays you can do with it. But this is probably something similar to what I would play. Instead of 3 Peppery Pepper though, it has to be 4.
Yeah, that was even my
I
criticism.
thought about it. I thought about it, but I really need the Alanas in there so that they can go into Soul and keep me Soul charged.
Running 4 draw, I would just sacrifice the draw. I would do 3 draw to get that extra spice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, like when I was looking for lists and stuff to make comments on, like Zorga is the most malleable deck in the standard, I think. So I just got lost in the sauce, and I'm like, you know what? When I go to build it, because this is my first time building Zorga, I didn't even know what Alchemy Magic did until this. I'm just gonna look at a bunch of different lists and I'm gonna try them, and whatever wins me a couple games is what I'll get the physical copies for. So, I'm not. I wish I had talked to my Zorga enjoyer, my Zorga enthusiast Slate. Wish I had talked to Slate recently, but I haven't. So otherwise, I would have got some sauce here. Has this topped, Matt?
I'm sure it has.
Okay.
I haven't looked. I'm sure it's like a really big topping deck.
Yeah, VG Paradox set 2, it's number 6.
Okay, that's what I expected.
It's really good, and I mean, sure, there are points where you can get order screwed, where you like don't draw one, or you just can't play one.
Right.
That would kill the deck. You just that's a terrible turn if you can't do that.
So,
or if you don't see roaming prison dragons early enough.
opening hand, you just want to discard that boy as fast as possible.
Oh yeah.
Well, so those are the 4 decks we want to go in depth on here. But we did get a bunch of existing decks that got support. So Ryan, why don't you lead that discussion real quick?
Okay, I guess we'll start with Dragon Empire because that one is red.
Solid.
No,
reason.
it's less because it's red, and it's because it's just like you look up the set list and then number 1, the first card is Dragon Empire. Is it always like that for every set where it goes first card is Dragon Empire, then Dark States, Bracket in terms of like numerical order?
I don't know, but that'd be interesting to find out.
I don't know. That's some research. Except for lyrical sets, I guess they're all lyrical cards.
Yeah.
But basically the first card of note is for Gandiva / Eugene, so therefore it's Gandiva support. It's Drag Ritter Durgam. Basically, what it does is basically when you place it on Rearguard Circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Eugene or Gandiva in its card name, you Soul Blast 1, Energy Blast 3, choose one of your opponent's Rearguards and retire it. If you didn't retire a Rearguard, you draw a card, and then it gains the effect at the end of the battle. Your Vanguard attacked. Choose one of your front row Rearguards and stand it. Basically, it goes from, let's say, a minimum 3 attack deck to having 4 attacks, which is really strong, specifically for Gandiva because it has quote unquote crest power as you bind more units.
Doesn't Gandiva already have isn't there a card that like replaces it with like 1 grade high or 1 grade lower? Isn't that a way that they got extra attacks? Or am I thinking of something else?
I'll refer to Matt as I have not played Gandiva in a while.
Matt, wasn't there a card?
You're, I don't know. That sounds like a Chrono Jet type of deal. But in Gandiva, there's one card that after your Vanguard attacks, this thing counterblasts to look at the top 5 and call something. So you get like a
Oh,
plus 5.
okay.
Yeah,
That's the
that's
one
what I'm
that comes
thinking
to
of, probably.
memory.
Okay.
But an extra attack, no matter what, is super good. So it's like I don't think this pushes Gandiva or Eugene over the edge, but I do think it's a very welcomed card for the deck.
100%. Yeah, I don't want to see Gandiva's return. I had enough headaches with it the first go around, but I don't think this is going to push it back to the spotlight.
Yeah.
Sadly.
I think it's good as a good where it is, pretty much.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like we haven't seen Gandiva just because there's so many other decks that people are excited for, and Gandiva is like, it's not old news, but it's old news.
No, I just think Gandiva is actually just too slow.
Really?
Yeah, it's like a turn
A
too
little
slow
bit.
to reach the bind zone enough for you to get that crit. I think it's just a turn too slow.
It's time to unrestrict that one card that they had, and then it'll be
Is
good
that
again.
gonna solve it? I feel like they can free it and the deck would still perform the same.
Probably, but it would be nice if they would let it go.
Yeah, it would be nice because I'm a Gandiva enjoyer as well. Except I didn't play Gandiva during the time it was super meta.
Fair.
I guess the next card that we have on the list is for Varga. So that's a more recent deck that people have been playing. Basically, it's a grade 1 card. When placed on Rearguard Circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater with Varga in its card name, your opponent cannot intercept until the end of turn. And then it also has the added effect of when any player's unit is retired from the front row that is in the same column as this unit, you can retire this unit and draw a card. So basically, every single Varga card says retire it, draw a card. In that sense, that part's generic. But the more important part is where you can't intercept or your opponent cannot intercept. So basically, it leaves Varga's skill to not be completely useless. Because that was part of my strategy against Varga during set 1. It would basically just be early rush them so that they just take a bunch of damage and then their following turns or their defense will be not too pressurizing. So basically, this nulls 10k guard from your opponent's hand. So I think that's pretty good.
Yep, that's what I would do. Is the first swing I would just, if I had something in the front row, just intercept with them, just so Varga didn't, so they didn't die in vain.
I actually think it's extremely relevant. Because let's say you're swinging like 15k for your first 2 attacks before you persona ride. Those are just an intercept and an intercept. So then now this forces 2 extra cards out of your opponent's hand if they don't want to take small pokes. I actually think this card is super strong.
Yeah. As much as I don't like Varga, I do like that card for Varga.
I actually think this pushes it over the edge to make it like definitively tier 1.
Okay, we'll see how that plays out.
And then, if you're a main character enjoyer, we have Piercing Equipped Dragon. Piercing Equipped Dragon Argneus?
Yes, I'll agree.
Okay,
Argneus.
okay. Basically, this is a Nirvana card. What it does is when it's placed on Rearguard Circle during your turn, or it's discarded from hand during your turn, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Nirvana in its card name, you can Energy Blast 3, choose a card with Crossover Dress from your drop and put it into your hand. And then it has the other effect. When this card becomes an original Jest, Soul Blast 1 and Countercharge 1. So basically right now there's only 3 cards that add Crossover Dress cards from your drop to your hand. First one being Ville's Verena, then the promo Cindy, and then now this card. And then on top of that, it has the ability to countercharge, which is something that Nirvana was really missing for a long time until it got Mirrors Verena. But now you can basically just run this, and you can possibly explore builds that don't run Mirrors Verena.
I was gonna say that was the longest running meme was before Nirvana gets countercharged, before Nirvana gets countercharged. So now we have a second way to do it.
It only took them 2 years to get Nirvana want a counter charge, a good counter charge.
Punctual Bushy Road is punctual.
Ah,
I actually
I'll look
think this
through.
card is really good because it's just like, okay, you can discard it for basically it guarantees your crossover dress. I think the deck still runs into the problem of you need to see at least one crossover dress unit first because there's really no super effective way of searching it. So like you can get crossover dress stuck because I am secretly a Nirvana enjoyer. I would totally love for them to not make another stride deck and they just make Nirvana the Legend, Nirvana Exceed. I will be so happy as like the premium deck set.
Please.
Like please save us, bring us to Nirvana. But basically, I think this card's really good. Will it make the deck meta? Well,
No.
it's solid, but I don't think one card's enough to really push it over the edge. It gets good support, but the deck is just missing. I don't know. I don't know if it's missing anything. It's just not consistent enough.
I'm trying to think of what it would use or what it can use to make it better, but I really don't know.
I haven't played my version since we got to 54 cards, so maybe I'll just throw 4 of these in there. But anyways.
Okay. So next part would be Dark States, based on the order. The new card for Almagestar or Unica, is Star Slave Demonic Lady Bifrons. That is
Bifrons.
a long name.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a generic support card for Dark States in general with its first effect. When placed on Rearguard Circle from hand, counterblast 1, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. 1 goes to hand, 1 goes to soul, 1 goes to drop zone. That's the first effect. That's very generic. So in some sense, you can say it's that selective soul charge.
I did consider it for Blankmeyer. I was gonna say that.
You can even consider it for Jejuled.
Oh yeah.
You basically put whatever into drop, you put whatever into soul, you put the perfect art to hand, and then you basically just soul charge it again with Jejuled's effect.
Yeah.
So I think this is actually going to become like an expensive card in the future. It's just too good. Surge top 3. It's kind of like in some sense graceful charity, but not actually.
Pretty close though.
And then the other effect is a once per turn on Rearguard Circle as an act. If you have a Vanguard with Almagestor in its card name, Soul Blast 1, Energy Blast 3, search your deck for up to 1 card with Astroea in its card name, or up to 1 critical, put it into Soul, and shuffle the deck. If you part a card into Soul, choose up to 1 card with a different card name from this unit and grade less than or equal to your Vanguard from your drop, and you may call it to Rearguard Circle. I think this card is nuts. Basically, you get to put the critical into Soul, and then this guarantees that you're able to Soul Blast and bind a critical for Unica's effect to get the extra drive and whatnot. I actually think this card's super strong.
So I
For
know.
that,
Yeah, I was gonna say I never built that deck, so I can't speak too much on that. But you built it, right, Matt?
Yeah, well, I build almost everything.
Not sure.
But no, this card is, I don't know. I can't even describe it. It's nuts. It's disgusting. I'm pretty sure there's I won't say too many, but there's a lot of people that started playing Almagestor again just because of it.
I'd welcome it. Yeah.
Lovely. Right?
yeah. So you guys might be thinking that it's a good card, but I think the flavor text is very flavorful because it's a star slave, right? Or it's a slave, and then the flavor text is, "I shall bring everything my princess desires."
So it's a
Honestly,
simp.
No, it's a slave. You
Oh,
know that. Whoa, wait a second.
I'm just gonna tell it like it is. Sorry.
what's the full name of the card?
Oh, I'll read it again. No problem. Star
Yeah.
slave demonic lady Bifrons.
I need to look it up because I want to read that.
Maybe
All I'm finding is Japanese cards.
some.
Oh wait, I have it in real life. I'm stupid.
Oh, you pulled it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
pulled
wow.
one. No, actually, Tim gave it to me.
Oh,
he
good man.
nice guy, Tim.
Yeah, good.
I
Man.
know. Thanks, Tim.
What else is in Dark States world?
In terms of Dark States world, they have the new Direfall doll, Direfall
Yep.
doll Shelly. Basically, I actually think it's good for the deck, not because it's a good card, but it's good specifically because people who are good at the game and practice in the matchup can't abuse this deck as much anymore. So basically, what it has is when this unit attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, put a Direfall doll in its card name from drop into soul, and this unit gets plus 5,000 for each grade of the card put into soul for this cost. At the end of the battle, bind this unit. And then it has the other added effect when this unit attack hits a grade 3 or greater Vanguard, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So the thing with Direfall dolls is that if you're very practiced in the matchup, you would never swing anything that's below 18k into them because then they can free guard with their grade 3, which puts stuff back into soul. So like basically it's very nuanced. And this card kind of helps fix it, but not exactly completely, because like your opponent will still have that counterplay should you not have see this card. Because I don't think this is a 4 of or anything like that. But it does help the deck being outplayed by your opponent, and you have
You have retaliation. You have
some
recourse.
agency, some agency to not get outplayed in the matchup just because your deck is not fully functional.
Right.
But that's like for some like super nuanced people, because usually people in Vanguard just like blind swing and attack.
I feel insulted. Yeah, I didn't have the patience for dolls or the patience to play into dolls, so.
But I think a card that you might be more interested in, we're gonna skip the Barrow Magnus one because that deck's not real still. Is some Aurora Battle Princess Corner Citrus.
What's an Aurora Battle Princess? I'm unfamiliar. Could you please educate me?
Yeah, so like okay, no, I was thinking like RCS Dialga Palkia was referred to ADP. So this like the ABP deck, it's just like the best deck in the format. It's just like RCS Dialga Palkia was. Okay, but Aurora Battle Princess is the prison deck. All the units except for, is it Seraphs? No, is that Aurora Battle Princess Seraphs? No, is that the full name?
So,
Yes.
I think she's like Fierce Princess, maybe. Hold on. Seraph Snow.
The original one?
What's the grade for?
Oh yeah. The original is Aurora Battle Princess Seraph Snow. Yeah, sorry. I was my
Oh, but the
my
grade
mind went
4,
straight to Pure Light. Yeah,
yeah,
The grade
Pure
4
Light
is
is Aurora.
Pure Light's the Fierce. Yeah.
But basically, this deck gets, or this card, Corner Citrus, when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, your opponent chooses a card from their drop and imprisons it in your prison. If they imprisoned a card, Energy Blast 3, and you draw a card. And then the second effect is what everyone's been looking at, is when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Seraph and its card name attacks, if 3 or more of your opponent's cards are imprisoned in your prison, this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. If 5 or more cards were imprisoned, counterblast 1 and stand this unit.
And that's what we needed, baby.
Yeah, it basically makes a 3-attack deck into a 5-attack deck, which is extremely threatening.
And I actually pulled that off yesterday.
I hated it.
The other part is that I'm just realizing that the plus 10,000 power happens twice if you restand.
Yes.
So you get plus 20k. That's game ending.
And plus the front row power from Pure Light herself is going to be, 15, 20, 25, depending on how many you're in jail. So it can be a 40, let's see here, 10 in jail gives you 25. It could be a 45 2 crit swing all on its own twice.
Yeah.
How's it giving 10k twice?
It doesn't say until end of turn. I mean, it doesn't say until end of battle.
No, but it's when your Vanguard attacks, so your Vanguard's only going to attack once.
You see, this is why we read our cards.
Wait,
You're welcome.
this is when Vanguard, when that card attacks? Oh. Okay, well, fine. Then it's a 35k 2 crit. Okay, so that's a 2 card guard. Thank you.
Okay, so we proved that one guy is not a real card game player here. He actually read the card.
Yeah, I don't know how to play games.
Okay, so but that plus 10,000 is actually like, honestly, in my opinion, like very strong.
Yeah, and it's gonna, from my personal build, obviously you guys have been subjected to it several times. I don't need to run as many front triggers now because I'm going to have a unit that can use a crit over a front because it's giving itself 10k. So prepare for me to go from deck you out to deck you in the jaw.
I don't like that. I love it.
Anything else in Brant besides the Rotovisor deck, Ryan?
Well, I'm just still on the corner system.
Oh, okay,
I was
okay.
actually looking up the other support cards because I was thinking that like, oh, like this is a game-winning card, but like back in the day, the Grade 4 Pure Light was a game-winning card, and the only problem with it was consistency. So like until it got Security Upgrader, it wasn't as good as it could have been. And then looking up one of the support cards for this, Lifel, the Grade 1,
Yeah,
that
Life.
card's like that card's $9 now.
Yeah, and I was not a big enjoyer of it at first until I started until I got upgrader, because then I was going to always have something put in jail, because if you were just stuck on pure light and you already had your rouges down, you already had your penetrate aquas, whatever, then Lifel didn't always have something that she could rely on to put something in jail, and then she can do her effect. So once Upgrader came out and there was more consistency in being able to put stuff in the jail, and then with Citrus taking one from drop, with Penetrate Aquas taking one from drop, this girl then being able to search out an extra attacker that's, whoever you want, is awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's especially good now.
Yeah.
Okay, but last card for Brandgate is not necessarily a new deck specific card, but it's just a almost every Brandgate specific card of White Flash Scythe Balderid. Let him expand the boundaries with his pure white blade.
How else would you do it?
That was the flavor text.
I love it. Thank you, Ryan, for being flavor text guy.
No problem. Honestly, I live for flavor text. But basically, it has Rearguard Circle during the battle that this unit boosted. If you have a Grade 3 or greater Vanguard and your order zone has 2 or more set orders, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. And then the other effect that's really good is that at the end of the battle that this unit boosted, if your order zone has a set order, put this unit into Soul, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one Grade 2 or greater unit, or a set order from among them, reveal it and put it into your hand and shuffle your deck. Basically, it's kind of the equivalent of Sirgowan and Shenri that we have right now, being a Grade 1 booster, and then being able to quote-unquote recycle itself.
And
I love that card so much. I'm gonna buy so many of them because I need them for all my decks.
I do, as someone who has almost all the brand decks built, I do see the immense value that card has. It's just, since I'm most excited about Corner Citrus, I kind of just let that one, fall off the table.
It's funny because that's like the one deck that you don't really care for this card in.
That's exactly why. That's why it just fell off the table for me.
Oh yeah, but you got Welstra. Welstra loves that card so much.
Oh Lord, yes.
I think. Orphist, if you want to put that in Orphist, that's a really good booster because you just grab whatever world you need. Pretty nice, or whatever Grade 2. That's really good. Gravidia, if you want to go back and play some Gravidia, hey,
Ooh, love me some meteors.
there's a lot. There's so much you can do with that card. I love it. I love it so much.
What haven't we covered? We haven't covered. Throw Keter at me, Ryan.
Okay, throwing Keter at you. Basically, there's 2 cards. One card that I think that will go over. One card that I think is good, and then the other card that is good just for a bad deck.
Lord.
First card is Knight of Bowstreaks, Nilbarus. This is the best way I can shoot. Sorry. When this unit is placed on Rearguard Circle by your Grade 3 or greater Vanguard's ability, this unit gets plus 10,000 until the end of turn. And then it has, at the end of the battle that this unit attacked, if you have a Grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Resile in its card name, Energy Blast 3, and put this unit into Soul, draw a card, look at the top card of your deck, and put it on the top or bottom of the deck. So basically, the reason why I think this card is good is because when you're using Resile skill, you'll call Dog behind it. So without Persona Ride, it becomes a 33k column should you get the Zergon boost. and then if it's not 33, then it's 28. But still, that's a magic number regardless.
And I love hitting, like, it's just on a side tangent. Hitting 28k on an attack just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside because I know what that does to my opponent, and I love torturing people. So, um, that's just my tangent. I'm sorry.
No, that's a good tangent. 28K is like that magic spicy number.
I know it's one peppery pepper. I'll tell you what.
Ooh, peppery pepper. But Neil Burris.
Yeah.
So that's I can't even say you said it all. Like it's so good.
Yeah, so that's it. Just a Keter good card, and by Keter good card, this is just Raziel specific for the most part.
Yeah.
Then the next card is Academic of Endeavoring Ethel. Ethel. Whoa, I watch out. Is that the okay?
Whoa! I watch out. Ooh, what flavor text? Yeah.
It has when this unit is placed on rearguard circle, if you have a grade 3 or greater vanguard with Soul Raw Iron, Soul Raw Iron.
Wait, there's a deck called Soul Iron. What?
Soul Ryron, and I love that deck.
So basically, if you have this as the grade 3 vanguard, cost counterblast 1. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose up to 2 grade 3 or less unit cards from among them. Call them to rearguard circle and shuffle the deck. If you call 2 cards, choose a card from your hand, reveal it, put it on the top of your deck if it is a normal unit, and discard it if not. This card is super strong for Solara.
Solosis. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Solosis. Yeah, that's my favorite Pokemon actually.
Hexo at home.
Yeah, Hexo. There you go.
Like this card's good. You get a call 2, and then you stack 1. But the stack is relevant for this deck because you get to call that stacked card back when you attack with your Vanguard.
Yeah, it's a much needed boost for the deck. I don't think it catapults it anywhere, but it's definitely much needed.
I love Soul Rider. I think it's I won't say it's like amazing or anything, but I might actually start playing it again.
What? Okay, I was thinking about the deck. What if Solryron gave plus 10k to the front row and not plus 5k to every unit? Would it be a good deck?
Yes, because then you can just attack with your front 2, and then if you're lucky enough, you can call that card you were just talking about, Ethel, off the top of your deck, and call 2 more attackers.
Okay, calm down.
Oh,
No,
you're kind of cooking. I didn't think about this high in battle phase.
yeah, because it's not restricted to main phase.
Huh. Yeah, because then you can just like run like a cheese build with this Kybre and everything.
Cheese build.
See? Can I point out another card that came out for Soul Ryron that I think is amazing?
Go for it.
It's the grade 2 Academic of Anatomization Lectures. Sorry, I don't have the.
I think I took that my junior year of college actually, so I'm familiar.
I bet.
Yeah.
That's the flavor text. I took that in college. The reason that card is really good is because it countercharges, but also draws you a card, and it goes to Soul. So that's like 3 things that Soul Ryron wants there.
I was gonna say all 3 things that Soul Ryron is a fan of. I get it. Okay.
Oh, he loves it. He would take that class.
Wait, okay. Side note, I looked up the flavor text. The flavor text is like, it has everything. It has a counter charge. It has the soul and everything, and you get the draw. Yeah. Basically, to deepen knowledges, one must maintain the tools.
And there he goes. He's got all the tools. He's the jack of all trades.
Oh my gosh, that is the best flavor text on a card.
It just makes sense for it, like because he gives you all the tools. The soul, the counter charge, the drawing. He's got it all, man.
So powerful. Oh my gosh, I like that. Okay, that's my new favorite card from this set. Sorry, Zorga, you're gone. Just like that.
I guess next one Stoicheia, then we'll go into Lyrical for the last 2. First one is Battle Siren Eleftheria. Basically, it's a support card for Tier Dragons, but it could be that it's support very generically because it has when placed on rearguard circle from hand, energy charge 2. So that in itself is potentially really good because I think Enlar Glove, the Stride Cycler, adds a card back to hand.
Okay, I like this
If
energy.
I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
If it's, I believe it's at back to hand and not call to field. And then it has the other effect at the beginning of your battle phase. If you have a grade 3 or greater tier Dragon Vanguard, cost Soul Blast 1, choose one of your units, and it gets when this unit attacks, this unit gets plus 5,000 until the end of turn. Do I think it's a good card right now? No. Do I think it's a good card in the future? Possibly, because we already know that people love their dragons and with tiers. So the only 2 tier dragon vanguards right now that I can think of are Flagberg and Flagberg's older brother Maelstrom.
Older, better brother.
And this card doesn't fix their problems, which is the only sad part.
Yeah.
But I think this might be a card to look out in the future.
Oh yeah.
But the next card that we have on the list is Friendly Broccoli. Was it Pepper's
Yeah.
Peppery
best
Pepper.
buddy?
Yeah, they actually dormed together in college where they took that autonomization class. They sat in
Yeah.
they sat in the front. I was in the back because I wasn't paying attention. So
Classic.
I actually wonder what Pepper's flavor text is, but like Friendly Broccoli singing a song, lots of greenery, lots of friends.
Look, I
It's
was
got the music notes too with the flavor text. It's beautiful.
They better do that in English.
I
Oh, do
was
they? Wait, hold, do they?
I'll have to I have to see the card in English, but that's what the current one on the wiki has. And that's beautiful. Like when I play that card, I'm gonna sing the song.
I was taught back in the day by a song that you don't win friends with salad, but it is what it is. So I'll let the broccoli be happy and friendly. That's fine.
It's wearing a kimono, it looks like, and everything too in the picture. So, but basically, what this card does is when this unit is placed on rearguard circle from hand, if you have a token unit on your rearguard circle, counterblast 1 and draw a card. And that has the other ability, continuous. If you have a token unit on your rearguard circle, this unit gets plus 5,000 power and shield 5,000.
So you're telling me that Stoicheia actually has token decks? What? Like Claudine?
You quiet, you Claudine lover. Get out of here. Zorga at home.
This is going so in Claudine. and yeah, your Zorga at home comment, I'm making some Nadir Claudine mashup. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a monster. It's gonna happen.
I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna never forgive you, and I'm gonna make sure you lose every game.
That's fine.
No, our boy almost lost to Claudine at Springfest.
Oh
Really?
no!
Yeah, but then he miracle healed, divine skilled from Resile,
Okay.
and over triggered. So it's like he won by the power of main character. So he actually didn't almost. Well, he almost lost, but he was the main character, so he actually never almost lost. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, he had it the whole time.
Yeah, 100%.
He knew.
But yeah, this is just really good early game for the plant decks, and then it's just good because you can quote unquote rush with any deck now, because if you have Rosarium Fairy, everyone gets a plant tokens no matter what, and you run Rosarium Fairy for everything that rushes.
True. And I like the fact for Claudine specifically because it's not very resource heavy, so that counterblast isn't gonna hurt me.
Oh,
But yeah,
I like
friendly.
broccoli.
Everyone wants to be friends with this broccoli if you're in Stoicheia. So, but mhm.
I think I tried running it in Granfia, and it was okay, but I like the Granfia specific promo where you counterblast to draw a card just at the start of your battle phase.
See, I don't really agree with that because like I was told like if you want to become big and strong, you got to eat your vegetables.
Oh, he's got a point.
Listen, I can't disagree. I think that with Granfia, specifically Granfia, I can't say about Leonorn. But you have Rosarium Fairy that you want to attack with, so that's going to be in your front row. And then you also most likely have either another one or a Ran Orangerin, because that's an orange, and that's basically a vegetable, right? What is it? It's citrus.
Is it a corner citrus?
Citrus was in.
Yeah.
He got it before me.
Is it a corner citrus? I think not. It doesn't matter. I actually use Citruson in Roa right now just as a 2-0 for fun, but
Good. I need to have an entire deck that's just fruits, fruit based anything.
What is it? The FDA approved deck is just fruits and friendly broccolis and peppers, and your Vanguard's a watermelon. I don't know.
Dude, people would go nuts for that deck.
Oh yeah.
They should release it as a promo boss.
Yes.
Oh, please! I would play a promo boss for once.
Side note: did you guys see that one meme of like this old couple? They grew a tomato that looked like a duck, and someone posted
I
it.
did.
Someone posted it, and they're like, "Bushiroad's gonna make this into a Vanguard card. I swear to God." And I'm like, you know what?
Please.
Do it, please.
I'll turn it into one right now. I'll get on Photoshop.
Well, what I'm when you said lyrical a few minutes ago, I'm racking my brain. Besides Francette, which I covered in Flam G, I know she's for Chris Rain. Besides Francette and the Flam cards, what else did we get in lyrical?
We got a couple of Kyoka cards, which is kind of
Oh
surprising.
yeah.
Because Kyoka is getting support in lyricals, or we'll call it lyrical DZ set 1, DZ lyrical set 1.
LDZ, whatever. Yeah, landing zone. Yeah.
So I just have to look up my notes here real quick to figure out which card it is. Okay, so it's today's selfie Freitas. Has continuous from deck. If you have a Vanguard with Kyoka and its card name, when you would search or choose a magazine card from your deck, you may search or choose this card. So it's just relevant to the Kyoka stuff. And then it has the other ability, back row Vanguard circle. At the end of your turn, retire this unit, choose a card with Kyoka and its card name, or a magazine card from your drop and put it into hand. So basically, it comes out in DZ set 2, but for the lyrical booster that's coming out, this card is pretty relevant for either adding a Persona Ride back to your hand or adding the magazine. Um, it's basically a card to help the deck with maybe some consistency should you already saw some cards. Because Kyoka, I believe the new Kyoka allows you to attack with the Kyoka from the back row. And then recycling the magazine orders in itself is just generically strong.
Yeah, I started to build Kyoka, and then once I realized it didn't do diddly, I gave up. I think I bought a couple cards off of you, and then once I started researching it, trying to put it together, originally upon release, I'm just like, yep, never mind.
Oh, upon release, yeah, it was okay. But now it's still okay.
Yeah. Didn't her and Lutetia both get an LSR revealed today?
Yeah, that means they're the best decks in the game.
Yeah, and I have never seen so many people thirsty over an LSR as the Lutetia one. Like my entire timeline on Twitter was just flooded.
I mean, have you seen her? She's got that really good looking tan and the
Personality?
Yep.
Yep,
Two
both of
big
them.
personalities.
But I mean, that has been flooding my time, and everyone's just drooling over virtual cardboard at the moment.
Nerds.
Anything besides Kyoka?
And then you said outside of the Chris Rain card.
Yeah, we have Francette. Yeah.
I don't think there's anything really too crazy in my opinion. I think like in terms of decks that are being fixed, but in terms of just good cards, I think Lyrical has good generic cards in this set.
And because of how like flexible Lyrical typically is, it's gonna continue to be that way. And I love it, but I'm frustrated by it at the same time because I lose patience.
Because of just good generics, or because
Yeah,
of
like there's too many good generic options to mess around with,
I think that's a good thing.
Oh, it is, but I just personally get frustrated because I have no patience. That's all.
That's fair because it's like otherwise it becomes Keter and everyone's runs Tapefall,
Yep.
Grade 2 Order, and Surgown.
Yeah. Well, gentlemen, this has been.
Wait.
Oh yes.
Wait.
What?
Hold on. There's three more things that I want to bring up. The first one, it's real quick. The first one is Rotovisor comes out in this set. I don't really have any thoughts on that deck. I haven't really played it.
I don't either.
It looks neat, but I feel like it needs more support, and then we might actually see it. So we'll see when that comes out once they start getting more support for it. And then the other deck is from Dragon Empire, Gryandra. I actually like that deck. I played it a little bit. It's in the same boat. It needs a little bit more support, and then we'll see what happens with it. But I do like the order that came out for Gryandra, which is when your Vanguard stands, give 10k to your front row,
Oh, that's a nice little buff.
and it's very generic, so
Yeah.
I like that a lot. All right, that was it. That was it.
Yep. Well, and then with the other small things to note is we do have the manga deck Vergilia. I was actually talking with a friend, Paladin Rider. He said since it's all cheap cards, I believe it's all commons. He's just gonna get a bunch of those, and for anybody who's interested in the game, it's a very nice entry point deck. It's got some pop to it, so I think that's cool. And then for myself, because I have the case, I am building one of every quint. Every single every single nation that there's a quint, I am building the deck, and I am aware that most of them are not good. I've only found lists for 3 out of the 5 nations anywhere, so we'll see what I come up with.
I believe in you.
I believe in you too.
That makes 2 of us. But gentlemen, this was a chonker. So we'll go ahead. We'll cut here for this episode. Next episode, so 2 weeks from now, we're going to talk about what we've seen with the JP No Action ban list that we saw. Talk about the reasonings behind it. Talk about what we've seen the first couple weeks of set 2 being live in English. Obviously, with our locals having a sizable population. I know myself, my wife, Matt, Ryan, I'm sure you'll at least pick up one of the new decks and play it. So we're going to see some new decks in action. We'll talk about that, and then we want to also talk a little bit about the show. We want to talk about the anime. Season 2 is starting getting some teasers, some trailers, whatever you want to call them. We'll give our thoughts on that. But anything else before we wrap up, gentlemen?
I don't think so. Not that I can think of.
I don't know if I'm going to be playing the new decks. I am secretly a Stride deck enjoyer.
Oh God. Okay. Well, you know what? I had hope. I opened the door and you slammed it in my face. So thank you for that. I have a bloody nose. I'm gonna be suing you. Okay.
So we won't be talking to Ryan about that for another 6 months or 8 months or whatever.
See you in here. But no, this new set's exciting.
All right. Well, everybody, I appreciate you listening. This is about twice as long as the first episode, but hey, it's set 2. There's lots to talk about. If you guys enjoyed, if you have comments, anything, if you listen to this in chunks, that's fine too. I should have said that at the beginning. I didn't know how long it was going to be. So follow us over on X or Twitter, whatever you call it, at DeckCheckVGPod. We are live on every platform except for Apple. I still can't get Apple to agree. I don't know what's happening. I'm going to keep trying to crack at that, but Google Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, and on the Woodland Docs YouTube channel, because I didn't have another phone number to dedicate to a YouTube channel specifically for this podcast. So once more, appreciate you guys. Matt, Ryan, they're wonderful people. I see them every week, and I enjoy talking Vanguard with them. If you guys enjoyed listening, please be sure, follow up, listen, give us a rating. And until next time, guys, we'll see you then.